struggling to get the thing to go live. It's making me re-authenticate. So congrats on that, Janeri.
Thank you.
Let's let Mr.
Oh,
Greg
that's
Adams
awesome,
back.
Janeri. Those 3-day fasts are awesome resets.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons that I did it with Gelante, because it resets your body, and like Patrick mentioned, mentally too. It really really challenged me, but it was good. I'm just proud that I was able to do it. First day was a little bit of a headache, but I came out of it, I feel like stronger, so I love it.
Yeah, well, Instagram says it's really good for you, so do it.
Exactly.
Have you guys checked out, throw in the chat or throw into Facebook, have you guys checked out the Alex Hormozi's new book, $100 million leads? Pretty good. Really enjoying it. I'm like about 2/3 of the way through it. I just always will watch whatever that guy puts out. I highly recommend it if you guys aren't following him. Good guy to follow. Seems like one of those rare people that is really successful. Yeah, Brian's got it. Really successful, really generous with their information, and also like has a lot of humility, which is great. He reads the audiobook too, which is kind of cool. I always like it when the author is actually the one that's reading it. Feel like it gives it that extra boost. It's good to see Gelante not hiding behind the camera on there, man. It's good to see your face. We got Chris Moore driving. Maybe he has stolen Allah's desk.
Stolen what?
Allah. She only exists in driving format on calls.
Oh, I know. I just got off the boat, had lunch with my mom, but now I'm heading back to the lake house. Don't judge me until you see me back on the boat again.
Awesome. Alec Newmeyer saying, I listened to Arnold Schwarzenegger's autobiography and he only read the intro. Disappointing. Yeah, that may be hard for him. I don't know what that would be like to listen to 6 hours of Arnold talking. Like it could be rough after a minute. I feel like halfway through the book he'd be screaming at me. All right, so any other wins?
I got a
Greg
win.
Adams, what do you got, brother?
Oh, we're talking about health here. I got a clean bill of health yesterday when I went to the doctor. I've been kind of struggling with stuff, and got a clean bill of health. So I'm happy about that, and kind of get some other stuff kind of straightened out, figured out with my back. So I'm feeling really good now. So you don't realize how much your health means to you, especially when you're a younger age. But when you get up there older, you really kind of not take it for granted anymore, and it can sneak up on you. So you can't do all these things without your health. So I'm on back to track to getting myself back on track. So that was a great win for me yesterday.
Yeah, man, that's fantastic, Greg. I know that the last like 6 months to a year, you've been really battling with some stuff, and I know how much like toll it's taken on you just in the conversations that we've had. It seems like it's always on your mind. And even when you were in Orlando at our last event, like it was obvious. So man, that's fantastic. If you don't have your health, like we take it for granted, like you said, but once it's gone, if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. Really, all this other stuff really doesn't matter if you can't enjoy it because you lost your health. So man, that's fantastic. So nice to hear that.
Thank you. I appreciate everybody's support. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, we got you guys. All right, so Jeff, you got a win, right? You give us the 30-second version of your win from you're going through this leadership academy, right? And you're leveling up.
Yeah, I don't know if 30 seconds is a good amount of time to encapsulate.
Give us the 45-minute version.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm doing Ascension Leadership Academy. It's based here in Austin. There have been probably 1,200 people who have been through it. And the trainer has been doing it for like 35 years. So he was the same trainer Patrick had when it was based in Vegas 10 years ago. And it's based on emotional intelligence and really pushing you to the limits of your comfort zone to identify all of the rackety shit in your brain that's holding you back, and self-limiting beliefs and all of this. And it shoves your face in it and basically spins you out. and triggers you relentlessly for, the whole time over and over and over and over again. So yeah, it's cool. I mean, at times I wanted to strangle people, and at other times I was in a state of bliss, and then back and forth like that. So very amazing program, and I'm really excited about the growth that I'll have as a result. So that's my 90-second version of it.
Yeah. So just kind of piggybacking, I did it in 2013. I think we started with 75 people and finished with like maybe 27. It was kind of an expensive program for me at the time. I'd never spent money like that. I think I spent like $3,000 or $4,000 when I was playing poker for a living. I hadn't been to all these different masterminds, and I was just like, man, this is like, what if this sucks? So, but I had been playing poker for a living for 10 years, and I was probably happy for the first 6. And I played for like another 4. And this was at the end of my poker career. I didn't have the confidence to go and learn to be a software engineer going into that course. And I was like, I didn't know what I was going to do. I was making really good money playing poker. And I'm like, whatever I do is going to be a big pay cut. And that will suck. But we already had, this is way before I started marketing. So that would mean that I'm going to not make as much money, but I already bought like 4 houses, and we were going to be okay. But I came out of that, and I basically taught myself to be a software engineer after 3 months. After that, I was like, and then I think 4 or 5 months, I had a job as a software engineer, rotated out of poker after not being happy for like 4 years. I had enough like belief in myself to go after something that had been like that I thought I could do. But I just like, for years, I had been like, what's my way out? Like, or am I just like trapped in this forever? So, and then I think, it's a leadership academy, and I wasn't comfortable talking in front of other people. I wasn't comfortable being on like a webinar. Now I'm doing this a couple times a week, leading a coaching program, speaking at events, like a lot of that stuff. I kind of look back on where the road forked, and this isn't a pitch for you guys to go do the one Jeff's doing, just that, hey, like, find ways to level up, push yourself outside of your comfort zone. That was really intense. I told Jeff, like, hey, this is in your face intense. And I don't think anyone understands it until they're like in the thick of it, and they're like, oh, you were right. Right. But yeah, so I'm happy to see you going through this. I think it will help you level up in a lot of different parts of your life.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, guys. So today, I see a lot of people that have been around on here for a little while, but what I want to talk about is what the topic that we pushed out here was how to stop spam. So basically, LeadSnap has the ability with our forums to pretty much eliminate spam. I see a lot of people in different groups dealing with that. We can also block spam from phone calls using a menu system. We're going to be dropping in, we're going to be kind of like upgrading the LeadSnap phone system to take advantage of like some spam blocking in other ways. I'm also going to talk about some automation stuff. I'm going to give you guys a little preview to what's coming for some really cool features inside of LeadSnap that we've been working on. I'm hoping we're going to get them live in the next couple of weeks. It's going to start off related to Google My Business stuff. The way we're going to roll it out, we have a couple more days before we have this ready, but we're going to have the ability to like turn a feature on in one person's account, but not another. So I think we're going to have some beta users that are going to test out some stuff for us, get feedback, and then we can roll it out to the rest of people. So that's going to be great for us, where we don't have to like, every time we release things, we discover that there's bugs later on. So with this, maybe we can get through some of the bugs. It's impossible to, like, the way software is connected, everything, there's so many dependencies. So it can be really hard to account for every scenario that could exist, right? And then when we have users start to do it, even though we've like tested it a ridiculous amount, then like 15 minutes after we launch it, someone's like, hey, this isn't working. And it's like, God, how did that happen? So I think it's going to make it easier for us. We're excited. So let's start off with some of the basics. So first of all, LeadSnap. If you guys haven't heard of it, it's a pretty awesome software. I'm going to log into it real quick here. And any questions on what's going to be covered while I bring this up? All right, cool. I know for some of you guys looking around at the faces in here, there may be some review here, but I know there's a lot of new people that have come into the group, and I want to make sure we get on the page, same page. I've seen in other groups. Jeff, can you give me a thumbs up? Can you see my screen? Okay, cool. So this is LeadSnap, guys. Basically, you can connect all your websites, and then once things come in here, you can track things and you can forward them, all sorts of stuff. So the way that this works, this will connect with any type of website that's out there, right? So we can connect it with WordPress. So let me pull up. So if I'm inside of, this is a little demo site. Please don't copy it. I know it's very beautiful. All right, so let me just show you what you can do. So when we log in, oh man, hang on a second. I was logged in right before this. Stand by. Sorry, technical difficulties here. I'm going to pause the share, not to expose passwords and that sort of thing. Man, had this all set up. Jeff, entertain people while I struggle through the tech issues here.
For sure. Who else has a win while he's figuring that stuff out? Anybody? Anybody got anything they didn't get to share? Anything that's burning on your soul right now?
So as we know, we've all been hurt recently here with our reviews getting swept on Google. So I just finished up putting together a possible case study that LeadSnap could possibly be very, very beneficial for us. There is a way to go in and contact Google and report reviews that are missing. As we know, legitimate reviews as well as fake reviews have been swept by many of us. And so one of the benefits that LeadSnap does offer is if you have your GMB connected, it will save those reviews. And so I have gone in and contacted Google. They asked for names of the people that left the reviews. And so I'm hoping to be able to get some of these reviews back by using, by basically having the names that LeadSnap has saved these reviews. So, I'll report back in the group if I'm able to be successful.
Are you telling them names of all of the names on all of the reviews, whether they're fake or not?
Yeah. I mean, here's my philosophy, and anybody that's smarter than me can interject. I see Brent Bowser's on here. He's a pretty smart guy. You know, if the AI system that's sweeping these reviews can't tell the difference between real and fake reviews, once we get human eyes on the reviews, I don't feel like if the system can't tell if it's real or fake, how is a human gonna be able to tell if it's real or fake?
Right.
And I know that there's been other people with success that had screenshotted reviews in the past, and have been able to send on those screenshots, no matter what software they're using, if it was just an actual screenshot off of Google, and have been successful with getting them back. So I'm testing it using LeadSnap as my backup, because I never thought about them being stored in there. Because once they were gone, I thought. But thankful for Patrick's software.
Yeah, here's one of the things that we're kind of, because this has become such an issue. Let me just pause this share again for a second. Because this has become because reviews have become such an issue, right? Where we really struggle to monitor where they are, what's going on. They're getting removed when they shouldn't. Sometimes maybe they should be removed. What we're building into LeadSnap is kind of like a review dashboard that will, when the review is removed, we're going to have labels, and you'll essentially be able to filter and have a dashboard that says like, hey, this is how many reviews were removed this week. Here are the ones, and even setting up notifications when a review gets removed and giving you guys the ability, if you could think of a reason, we're very intentionally doing this. I'll just say that. We're going to have tags where you can put a tag for each review. So maybe this tag is like, hey, these 13 reviews are associated with this tag, and all 13 of those were removed at the same time, right? So being able to say like, okay, show me the ones that were removed, right? So trying to combat, Google's overcompensation for the review issues, right? And I would love to see how we can automate the reinstatement request. Like, Spencer, let's talk offline and let's talk about like what the reinstatement for review process looks like, and what can LeadSnap do to kind of like automate that process, right?
Well, you touched on some of those there. So here's the crazy thing, you guys, like, if we start thinking about the psychology of Google, which we always are trying to stay, 5 to 10 steps ahead of this slow moving beast, they legitimately have when you go in to this portal and you search in reviews, it will actually pop up a review form. Now, if you as a company, I know Patrick is being a software guy, if there wasn't a whole bunch of issues, you would probably not create a form, right? So that number one tells me that there's a lot of traffic coming into Google about the review situation, obviously, that's happened. So some of those questions are on there. How long ago did you notice this? And as a dumb business owner, I'm like, oh, I think it was within the last few weeks to a month, right? Like I have no clue because I'm a dummy, not knowing that these have been swept supposedly. And then it asks, was it 1 to 10? Was it 10 to 20? Was it, so there's like this gap on these drop downs. So it's this whole form that we can basically create. Well, currently we could create what LeadSnap was capturing on the back end of it to basically mirror exactly what Google's asking for.
Yeah, obviously it's an issue. I heard that there is a lawsuit that apparently they removed all these reviews that were legit from this attorney in New York City that was like ranking really, really well. And then like all of his reviews were legit. So he actually filed a lawsuit against Google. And I think he gathered some other attorney friends, and this was like a really like high powered guy. So he's got a little like, he's got a little like mustard behind it, and it's like, it's going to come with some weight. I guess that's what he's got, some weight behind it. I don't know if that's going to cause a shift in Google, or maybe they're so big they don't care, but obviously this is impacting more than people that have specialized in like lead generation. So we're going to really focus on how we can start solving some of these problems. We've had a lot of like foundational things that we built into LeadSnap, but now really thinking about hey, what are people really struggling with, and how can we automate some of that process? I did a call yesterday and I saw there's an ability for us to get the transcripts of phone calls, and then have those phone calls have summaries on those phone calls and have a sentiment assigned to those. So we're working on this. Is really like having kind of like an AI push towards LeadSnap to automate a lot of these processes for you guys. One of the processes that we want to automate, if you guys are dealing with spam, form submission spam on a daily basis, like for us, like I don't know what we would do without LeadSnap in this, because I was looking at, I think it's blocking 30,000 plus messages per month for us, which is almost completely eliminates form submission spam. Like we still have an occasional guy who slips past the goalie, but for the most part, it's been just shut down. And I just want to, like, if you guys are new to the group, you haven't seen this, you're not using this, this is fantastic. So basically, if you're using WordPress, there's a plugin that you can install and throw into the chat for those of you guys who are using the LeadSnap. If it's helped you with the blocking the form submission spam, just throw it in there so those that are on the fence can understand this a little bit. So if you're using WordPress, we have a plugin. Pay no attention to the fact that all these plugins on this stupid site are outdated. This right here, the LeadSnap plugin, it works with like 20 or so different form types. So if you go to support.leadsnap.com, and if you look for WordPress, you'll see that we've hit most of these. And the reason that there's so many on here is because these were requested. So am I not sharing?
We just, there you go.
Sorry. All right. How embarrassing. Okay, so here is the LeadSnap plugin. You can search for it. You can install it. Once you install it, it will automatically pull in the leads from any of these. There's one that is not on this list, let us know. We added probably half of these because they were requests. These integrations are not hard for us to add in for most of these. Additionally, you have the option to, I wonder if it logged me out of here too. You have the option to build your own form inside here. So one way or another, this will work with any type of site, not just WordPress, right? Whether you're using like Duda or Weebly or some other thing that I've never heard of, right? You can essentially build a form and embed it. That will make sure that your forms get inside of here. Once they are inside of here, the spam filters are like these. This is a test account, so we don't have stuff coming in. That's why it says 0. In my account, it says like 30,000 here, right? This thing is fantastic. Now we have these like really aggressive bouncers that won't let the jerks get into the club, essentially. So this will look for a URL inside, which like most form spammers are trying to pass some URL. Most people who are reaching out for like a local plumbing service or whatever it is, they have no one ever says, come fix my toilet, also check out my website, right? That's not a thing. So we can look for that URL. We can also look at the phone number patterns. So sometimes people outside the United States will use a VPN to get inside the United States, and that will get around our block by country IP filter, but they also don't know that phone numbers here. No one local includes a plus sign or starts a phone number with a 0. So if you're in the United States and Canada, you can turn these two on, and that will block in that phone number field. This will look at keywords that exist inside the form, and it will block it if it matches it. It'll match a whole phrase or this. So if they type SEO, they won't be blocked. But if they type SEO for your website, I'm sure you guys have seen this. We get a ton of these where it's like, hey, I can help you with SEO for your website, right? So I just block it. That means it doesn't go to my clients too, right? Which means if I can protect my clients from getting hit up by other marketers, our clients, regardless of the service that we provide, other marketers are going to find a way to try to get in their ear, right? And if we can stop that to some extent, then that makes our job a little bit easier. It also increases the quality that gets delivered to our clients, right? So domain filtering, this will block the email fields, both of these two. So this would block like Spencer@spammer.com or Chad@spammer.com. So if anyone at spammer.com will get blocked, and this will block individual email addresses. Like we wouldn't want to put Gmail in there because that's going to block like real leads. And then down here, we have all the countries. So this right here is kind of the hammer for most. This will probably block 99% of form submission spam right here, just because like most of them are coming from China or Russia or, some other country. So you can see I'm blocking everything but the United States and our friends up there in Canada, right? So those are the only two countries' IP addresses that are able to get it. So when someone fills out that form, we pull their IP address and then we use that to decide where they're at. And if they're in one of these countries, then their form submission will get put in the spam box instead of get delivered to the leads area. And then about, 6 months ago, we added languages. So we were still having people they would use a VPN and then they would send something in Chinese. So now we're only allowing English. And I'll tell you guys, you put all this stuff inside of a blender, it will block greater than 99%. Like I did the math and it was greater than 99.8% of the stuff that was coming through was getting blocked by that. Does anybody have any questions about this? So I see some posts in here. Let me just catch up on some of this stuff.
Yeah, recommending cadence of the form plugin or part of the
Recommended cadence.
cadence. I've never heard of that. Greg's using it.
Oh, like that cadence is one of the form, like one of these guys. So adding cadence to this list.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we can, here's what I would request is just go inside of LeadSnap. We pay very close attention to like your guys' feature requests. So if you come in here to submit a ticket and choose the feature request option. So if I go to, I'll set this as normal and then feature requests right there, and then say like CRM and I don't know if that's taking a second to load or what, but just say, hey, would love to have that, because we can add that. I think it usually takes us like 24 to 48 hours to be able to add a new one in there. So absolutely, we would, you know, it's usually the same playbook for us to add those. So it's pretty big. So I see that, let's see here, Spencer, one day it blocked so many dang messages. Janari saying 100% helped. Devin saying he's got to look for those mustard attorneys. That's good. I don't know where that came from. My mustard comment. So these spam phone calls are out of control these days. So I'm going to talk about the spam phone calls as well, and kind of like how we're approaching it. And then Alec Newmeyer saying the same. So please add Cadence. I see that. Yes, Cadence, Greg Adams. Okay, cool. We've got multiple votes. So you can see that it's blocked over 1,600 messages for Spencer. So really powerful. I'll tell you guys kind of where this came from. Is I had I hired this old man. His name was Robert. And this guy, I might've been over 100 years old, and he was answering the phone for us for a little while. He used to be a poker dealer for me. And he was really good on the phone. Like, he was good as a dealer. You think like a Vegas, like kind of like cab driver without that edgy piece, or a bartender, right? Like someone who could just interact. And he would get so mad, like he would just lose his temper dealing with the spam all the time. And I was like, man, I bet I could solve this problem. And we built these filters with Robert in mind, because I was worried that he was going to have a heart attack in dealing with this spam for our company. And we got it live, and Robert was really, really happy. It made things way easier. And now it's been, 6 or 7 years. And I think we've probably blocked 1 million spam messages in our agency. If you think $30,000 and 360,000 a year times 7 years, that's over 1 million. So does the form fire an event for analytics? Greg, can you unmute and tell me what you mean by that? You mean like Google Analytics?
You there, Rob?
Yeah, for Google Analytics.
Oh, sorry,
So-
Rob. I thought that was Greg.
So say I throw this on my client site and replace it with, replace it or connect it. Right now we're tracking those form submissions through Google Analytics. What do we do when we, if we replace the form, what do we wind up doing to get that measurement, the continuation of that measurement?
Right. Rob, what website builder are you using?
We're just
WordPress or-
using, it's WordPress.
Yeah.
I don't know the particular form plugin for this
Okay.
client, but I'll check the list and see.
I would say there's probably a greater than 90% chance that they're using one of the ones on our list. We basically went after all, and we stopped getting requests for new ones a while ago. So Cadence, that's the first time we've got a request in a little while. So if you're using WordPress, you can probably keep the same form and just install the plugin, and then nothing
Okay.
breaks.
All right. Yeah.
And then
Totally.
all the tracking is also like, as you connect the form, it comes inside of here, right? It's immediately inside of
CRM.
the
Yeah.
CRM, which is fantastic because
Yeah.
from here, this was kind of like the second part, is like, how do we automate the delivery, or we can automate follow-up to our clients, right? For our clients, where I could say, hey, Rob, I saw you filled out a form on my fencing site, and my name's Patrick. I'm the owner of Fencing Dayton, and I just wanted to find out what you were looking for. When's a good time to talk? So like having that conversation open up. Now, the US government and the Canadian government have recently instituted very high compliance called A2P, which is blocking, like, texts can come in, but they can't go out until you get this approval. So within our team, we have a whole section of our team that's dedicated to trying to get that compliance resolved for people and like running it across the finish line. That's not something that applies to LeadSnap only. It applies to every voice over IP phone system in the United States or serving the United States. So, but once it's in here, this is kind of like one of the pieces of what I wanted to present today is it's really easy for us to do something with it. We have some templates laid out. So I could say form to text, right? So if it comes in here, a new form submission, I could automatically set up a text message to go to my client. And I could say the associated client with this company. So if I created a company that's like Dayton Fencing, right? And then like Jim is the client, then it automatically will be going to him and sending this information. And I can drag and drop anything from my form that I want, right? If I have a custom field, then I can make that and I can drag and drop that in here and make it super easy for them to get this. You can do the same thing for follow-up. So really easy to get the stuff in here. And then, I mean, you could essentially have this working for every client. Just click save and
Hey, Patrick, quick question. Can LeadSnap use spam filters for incoming text messages? Chad's asking.
That's a great idea, Chad. I hadn't thought of that. I will think about, we can't. So the answer is no, but future, yes, that's a really good idea. Man, I hadn't thought of that. I just realized I wasn't sharing before, right? I embarrassed myself yet again. So if you go here to automations, Rob, once it's in here, I can click on a new automation and I could say form to text. And then it's going to build this thing. Like I can include a link to the lead details inside of LeadSnap, or I could not. But basically when a new form submission comes in, you can see that it has the associated client for the company with this information, and I could drag and drop any of these fields over. Like if I had a first name field on the form, it will just replace that in real time with the value from that form. So super easy to automate the delivery of this. And we could, like I said, we could do the same thing with like nurturing that person who sent in the lead. In that situation, maybe what we'd want to do is wait. Maybe we want to wait like 4 minutes so it doesn't look like a robot. And then we send out this message here. So we've used this for a while, and then with this it's A2P compliance, this like government standard that they're putting in there has caused a little bit of hiccup with the text messaging, but you could easily send this as an email, like instantly send this as an email to your client by going through and choosing email, and then I could do the associated client here and drag over whatever fields I want, and send that over to the client. So that way you'd still have the Google Analytics tracking. So I imagine you've got goals and conversion rates that are being tracked through Google Analytics, and this wouldn't break that, but you'd also have it tracked inside of here with a little bit with more details, because Google Analytics is just going to tell you like there was a conversion, where this is going to tell you all the form details of it, how many per month, like some of the same data. We've also got the Google Analytics connection in here too. So that can be useful if you're really taking advantage of that. So Chad, do we have to have A2P authorization approval?
Thanks.
I'm sorry, Rob, did you have, let me just address this question here, and I'll circle back to you. Do we have to have the A2P authorization approval completed in order to execute the form to text automation? Yes, you have to be able to text, you have to have that, like I think starting on September 1st, you have to have that part of it completed. So if you go inside of LeadSnap in here into the phone system, there's a regulatory compliance here, and through here we can fill it out. You can also ask any questions in this chat support right here. They're really good. We've done this a bunch of times now. We've got the process mostly dialed in. There was a huge backlog with most of the providers because so many people were trying to do this, and it's done by like some third-party company, and now they are apparently appropriately staffed. So you should be able to get your approval within like 5 business days. Okay, cool. Rob, did you have another question? All good? Okay, cool. Let's talk real quickly about blocking the phone spam, right? So the second part of this is the phone spam. So within LeadSnap, you have the call flow, so we can build out our calls as much as we want. We could say, hey, maybe what I want to do to block the spam is I'll start off with a menu item. So a menu is going to allow us to play a message. So I'll click on this test one and click save. So this message could be like, hey, this is Patrick with Dayton, Ohio fencing. We've been getting a ton of spam calls. Just to let us know that you're a human, please press 1, right? So they press 1, and then from there, we can go on to the next step, right? So I could say, press 1, we'll call this human test, right? To prove that they're actually a human. So if I follow this line along here, then I can dial.
Chime in on this.
What's that?
Can I chime in on this for a second?
Yeah.
So when this feature first rolled out with LeadSnap, we were trying to do the robot one that wasn't the personalized greeting, and we noticed a significant people just bailed on the phone calls. So my suggestion is go in. I know it's a little bit of a pain, but record individual greetings for each company, and then upload them into the system so that they get a customized greeting. It's gonna increase your conversion huge.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Spencer. Great idea. Yeah, having it mention the company name gives confirmation for the person that's calling an unknown number, essentially, that this is a legit company, right? So, but basically, once they press 1, you can have them go down here and dial, whatever. If you want to have them dial multiple phone numbers, have it ring all at the same time, you've got that option. And then, we could add another menu option. Oops, it wants me to complete my work. Hold on, I'm just going to back out a little bit here. We'll put in this. Okay, so if I add in another menu option, the user, oh man, it doesn't like when I have incomplete steps. We're trying to protect the users from messing this up with validation. But if they do nothing, then we can do whatever we want with them too, right? Okay. Does not match the format. Doesn't like my fake number. Try that out. Okay. All right. So if here I could have them, I could go to, it would be messed up as if you like forward the ones that don't do anything to a competitor. But you could just hang up on them. You can do whatever you want here to eliminate these spam calls. So that's how you can eliminate the form submissions, and that's how you can eliminate the phone call spam. Okay, so a couple other things I wanted to touch on. We have this amazing library in here. I don't know how many of you guys actually take advantage of it, but I know there's been a lot of new people coming in that are looking for like beginner advice on what to do, right? So there are all kinds of things. So for instance, here's Google Business Profile. There's like stuff in here for ranking, explaining how things work, right? There's 37 videos in here. A lot of this is our playbook on exactly what we have done in our agency to grow it. So I just want to point out that this is available in here. There's all sorts of topics, right? Here's backlinking, right? If I wanted to have, looks like we've got three videos on backlinking. Here's due diligence. If I want to try to pick the right niche, if you're still engaged in doing the rank and rent stuff. Here's hiring. Like, how do we hire the best people? Looks like we only have 2 videos in there right now. So a lot of stuff in here that is pretty awesome. Does anybody have any questions before I go on to the next topic here for today? Give it just a minute. No? You guys want to see some cool new features? Throw in the chat if you want to see some awesome new features. I know the existing LeadSnap users are gonna love some of this stuff because it's gonna make life easier for you guys. Getting a lot of stuff in here. I do believe a bear does that in the woods. I've never seen that, Spencer. All right, so let me resume share. Okay, cool. So this is what we're about to drop, and this is going to be going throughout the entire LeadSnap system. So LeadSnap has so much data, right? We have GMB data, we have reviews, we have phone calls, we've got leads, forms, all these different things. So there's this commonality that exists where there's like a data table, and we're basically going to be applying this structure throughout the whole system. I think it's going to make your guys' life a lot easier and give you the flexibility to create these kind of like customized views. So this right here is current. We're going to launch this first, and the Google My Business locations area. Okay, so imagine that each one of these rows represents one of your Google My Businesses that you're managing within our system. The ones that are pink are ones that are suspended, unfortunately. Okay, so we have this type of UI where you notice that these columns can be drag and dropped. So we can rearrange these things a lot of different ways. We're adding these, what we call quick filters right here. So if I want to search for a Google My Business right through here, I don't have to open up like an advanced search. I can add it right here, and it's really easy to tell that a filter is being applied. If I want to go deeper, I can go in here and I can add in filters. So the way we've set this up, this is not how it's going to be. We've got like dozens and dozens of filters, but this is what it will look like if the field is like a text field. So imagine it's like, apply this to your leads, right? This is going to be the same thing on the all leads. It's going to be the same thing on like the company's pages, the phone calls pages, right? So imagine this is one of my leads and I want to search for, you know, a company name that includes Phoenix, right? Or contains Phoenix limo. So I could add in a bunch of these different things, or I could say, is it empty? Is it not empty? Then I could apply it, and I can stack these up with like and or ors. So I could have a collection of ands and say, show me Phoenix limo, and maybe ones that have had at least like 7 leads in the last 30 days. So we're going to give you guys a ton more filters and make it easier to apply these. That's not the kicker. Hold on. Wait for it. Okay. So this is how you'll manage the columns. I think that the UI is going to be a lot better. You can basically turn them on and off. You can drag and drop right through here. You guys have probably seen that in a couple other platforms. Once you have your stuff selected, what you can do is you can save it as a new view. So if I say, hey, I want to create a new view, and I could make this be private, or I could make this be public. I could basically share this. I keep this just to me, or maybe I want to share it with other people on my team. So I could save this. So imagine now we're back in like the GMB locations, and I want to say, show me all the locations that haven't had a review in 30 days and have a heat map ranking that an average heat map ranking like worse than 7, right? And I'll just save that as a view, and I could load these up right across the top. I can add in as many of these as I want, and I could pin these up here. I can drag and drop the order of these. So we spent a lot of time working on this to try to make this a lot easier for you guys to use. I'd love to hear any feedback that you guys have, right? So you would essentially save a view right here, and then it would be saved. In this saved view, it will basically save all the filters. It will save the sorting, as well as any columns that you've added. So basically what you'll have is, like, we're working towards customizable, we're going to have customizable dashboards and customizable like data sorting and views. So I think this is going to give you guys, we have all this data, but like, hey, we can't have it the way we want. So maybe what you want to do is you want to save it by client. So you add in like 5 or 6 different companies or websites that are there, and you just have that view there. Okay. Okay. It looks like we're getting some positive feedback, which is great. I love to see that. I'm going to show you guys one other thing that we're about to drop in here. In the Rank Masters group, I got some feedback on this piece of it. Hold on one second. I had all this stuff queued up and I had a kind of issue there. Any questions on this while I bring this up?
What's the release date on this, Patrick?
That's an impossible question to answer always. We're very close. We've already built all of this out. Like, I have this working on a test server already. So I think that I'm hoping that we're, within a week or so, we're going to be launching this into the all locations area. There's just a couple bugs in there we have to iron out before. And then, this may be one of the ones that we release to certain accounts. So let me show you the new version of the heat map that we are going to be launching. So some of the big changes, release dates. Okay, Alec, thank you for fixing that. All right, new heat map version. All right, so a lot of what we're doing is we're focused on trying to improve the usability. A lot of times people don't know that a feature even exists inside of LeadSnap, and we take the blame for that because we haven't made it usable enough for you guys. So you can kind of see we're going to have this like over on the left side, we have this list of pages that you can jump right to that are like the heat map pages, essentially. So navigation within the application getting a lot easier. This is how we'll do locations in the future, is like anyone that you've added would essentially show up on this list. Like if you've run a heat map on it, then it will show up on this list. You don't have to go and authenticate it. You just do one search. If you want to remove it, you can do it right here. If you want to search Google, you can do that from here. I could go in and search and find, say, okay, this is the one I want. I've got it. The keywords, I can add those right here. So it will be bringing in suggestions. So we're going to be tying into like Ahrefs and some of these other platforms to be able to pull in keyword suggestions for you guys. So that's what this stuff is right here. You can add them and see your ones that you've added, or you can add in a keyword list and those will add in there. And then you can kind of like edit that in real time from there. You can, I'm going to come back. We've done these first two. I'm going to go over here to this right. This is the save button. So if I draw out a grid that I like this one in Las Vegas, I can just click over here and save this. So if I save this, now I have the ability to load it, right? So I can load it right from here. Any of the past grids that I've, and basically when I click on this, it's going to load up whatever the shape is of that grid directly into here, right? Just kind of making it easier for you guys. You've got the option to switch to a square, a circle, or the polygon where you can draw it. I know that a lot of people don't even know that exists. This is one of the things I think it's like we have buried features. So like trying to make it more obvious that stuff is right here. The grid size, the distance between the points, and then miles or meters. One of the things that we're going to be doing is on a user level, we're going to save your settings. So if you've run a circle the last time, right? If you've chose the circle option, then it will load up the circle as the default choice for you. So whatever your last choice is, all those settings will be saved for you. So we're trying to make it as easy as possible for you to use this. Next, we have the schedule button. So you can schedule right from here. So if I want this to run weekly, I can just say, okay, I'll have this run on Wednesday, and you'll be able to add a tag to it, right? And then you can apply the tag to maybe you've got the tag. So if we go back to like what we looked at with the all locations, maybe I want all my heat maps that have a certain tag to show up on this one tab, then this will automatically sort that for you, right? So building in a lot of this automation. We also have this notification list. So if this is scheduled, I can have it go out in email as soon as it's complete on the schedule. So every time this runs, I'll have this go to john@email.com, right? Or whatever other names I add in here. What do you guys think of that? Would love to see a search atlas. We'll be adding that. I'm talking with the CEO of that company. Alex says it's clean. That's great to hear. I'd love to hear any feedback, ideas you guys have on how we can improve this. We're trying to make this, you know, I'm a big believer in the fact that from like a GMB management and rank tracking standpoint, I think I have never seen a product that's better than LeadSnap. There's products that beat us in other things. You know, there's maybe like better things that have advantages on us in a CRM, but from like a GMB to GMB, I'm happy to take the Pepsi challenge with any of the platforms that are out there. And I want this to be easier for people to understand. And I think this is kind of closed the gap for us a little bit. We've got Alla, who does exist outside of a car. I was beginning to think that was like a driving desk.
I swear I don't Uber.
I thought that was like
I'm an Uber driver.
You know how there's the desk that are like the stand-up desk, and then there's the treadmill desk. I thought you had like some kind of driving desk with the steering wheel, and maybe it wasn't even a car.
One day I'll have a driver. One day.
Talk to me. What question you got?
So when you click on one of these dots, right, on the map, does the GeoGrid come up for that specific dot?
Prior to running it?
Geolocation, the whatever, the two variables.
Coordinates.
Coordinates, yes, that's the word.
Does the coordinates come up prior to running it or after running it?
No, when you click on it now, like when you click on it, is it the exact coordinates of that dot?
We don't have that in there.
Okay.
That would not be very hard at all for us to add. We've already got that in the completed area. No one had requested that, but if that is like a requested feature, we could essentially just copy that functionality into here. As you see, we've got it in the completed area already.
Yeah, that would be useful. So if the dot is red, you would need to know where exactly it's red so you can try to like CTR the red parts.
Yeah, so let me show you, for it to be red, it has to be completed, right? And if I go for the completed ones, we have that, right? We have that inside of LeadSnap already. So this is the existing version of LeadSnap here, right? And if I pull up a completed heat map, like HVAC San Diego King here. If I click on this, it pulls this up. There's the coordinates right there.
That's the, okay. Not,
Yeah.
not, this is not the main one. It's the exact spot. Okay.
Yeah, that's the exact spot. So you'll see, like, I don't know what's going to change, but when I click on another dot, it's going to be a different, it's not going to be the same one. That changes with every spot. Right. So those numbers look a little different maybe. So yeah, you've already got that kind of functionality built in. Okay, so I'm going to show you, so sticking with that same kind of theme, right, is how can we organize our heat maps better, right? So you guys will probably see some good use cases for where we're going with this. So these are the heat maps that we've run. And notice again, we have the tabs. So, and if we give you guys the ability to not only like separate out the heat maps that we want, and you have the option to share this, then I could share a tab with somebody. I could share a tab with my client and be like, hey, here's all the heat maps that are here, right? So you're going to be able to, each page will have its own separate filters on here, but you'll be able to get way really granular with those filters. And obviously the filters are going to be relevant to the data that's there. So we're not going to have like ranking stuff on the phone numbers, but it's going to follow the same exact format here. You've got some quick filters with what we think are the most popular ones. You've got your advanced ones that are going to roll out additional ones. And then you save these into tabs to give you guys, making your like data organization way easier. So you'll notice that we've separated things out. So the heat map page, where is that guy? Previously, all this stuff was on one page, and it's a little bit kind of like overwhelming, makes the page load not as fast because we're loading all of this stuff onto one page, and you're only really looking at one. So what we've done is we're going to pull this stuff out and put it on a separate page. So you have the history, so you can get really, organized with your history. If you want to view one of these, we're going to take it over into this page. We're going to give you both options for the table and this. So we've got the competitors lined up here. We can apply sorting. You'll have this stuff side by side instead of like top and bottom, which I think is going to make it easier for you guys to be able to compare. Like when we're comparing and we're like, okay, look at the heat map. Let me go back down to look at the averages tab. Let me go back up. So now getting it side by side with all the same information, and you can still click here to get like it's not showing in this, the grid points, but you'll be able to have that same pop-up window and kind of manage this stuff right from here. So I think it's going to get a lot cleaner for you guys. That's our intention, is to try to make it more usable. Haven't shared this with a lot of people, so sounds like we've gotten pretty good feedback on the other parts of it. Any questions or anything related to where we're going? Any recommendations, things you'd like to see?
Hey, Patrick, one thing in the past, and I don't know if I think you and I've chatted about this, but when you go in and you take to share a heat map. So for example, if you're sharing a heat map, just a link with the share button, paste it. A lot of times it doesn't give any thumbnail. It would be cool to do a preview, kind of like what you're already doing right there on the screen where it previews the heat map, to be able to have a preview within the paste. Does that make sense?
We actually changed that last week, and I think it's working. So let me do something real quick here. Spencer, I'm going to send you. Hold on one second. I just want to test this. I don't know if it's working for the past heat maps or if it has to be like a new one, but yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. How can I do this?
Yeah, so it just showed a picture. I'm guessing it's pulling from the GMB.
Or from the GMB. What you're asking for though is a picture of the actual grid, right?
Yeah, the heat map. Like, so for example, within that new sample there, that you showed, you had a whole list of maps that you had pulled in the past. And Alec and I had commented that it was cool. Yeah, that right there.
Yeah.
Like that would be cool, because if we're going back to that, the almost using LeadSnap is kind of like that magnet, to attract the bug to the light. I love that heat map piece, because that's what's got a lot of people to stop the scroll or stop there, just interrupt. Such an interrupter.
Right. I think it would be good if we could give you guys the option to pick which one you'd like. I personally think if I can, let me just see if I can get this to work real quick. A lot of times the business owner is not going to know what that is until you explain it to them. So my concern is that it won't attract them the way we would want it to. But I could see, so this is what it looks like now, guys. So that's kind of what we're referencing. So that's a screenshot. I just sent this to Spencer in a private chat. So that's what it is now. And the reason that we set it up this way now is because, like, if I own this business and I've loaded this photo onto my business, and somebody sends me a link that has, like, imagine this is a picture of the business owner, right? Obviously this is stock photography, but imagine it's a picture of the business owner and they see a picture of themselves with the link. That link's going to be hard not to click on. If they see a grid, which they don't know what it is, and it has the colors, maybe it will be hard to click on. But I think giving you guys the option to pick which one you want would be really cool, because maybe there's different, like maybe you say in the message, like, hey, here's your rankings report, and then it has the grid. So you explain what it is. So I could see it both ways. I don't know how hard it would be to get that preview in there. Spencer, can you create a feature request for that? I really like it when you guys do it, so that way we know who to follow up with. Yeah, so Alec is saying that photo is the photo that they uploaded. That's right. So they uploaded that photo and they see it. They know it's like associated with them, right? We try to pull the logo in when we can, but it's like not always there for businesses, right? So Spencer, create a feature request. I'll talk to my devs and see what it looks like to get that grid showing up, a preview of their grid, because I think that would definitely have some pretty strong use cases as well. All right. One last piece of information here. Okay. I know a lot of you guys have struggled with video verifications, right? I know that the Rank Masters people, you guys probably have not struggled with video verifications to the same extent, or you maybe have not implemented the blueprint that we laid out for you guys. But for the rest of you guys, we're going to be launching a mini course with me and my friend Barry. And if you guys are interested in how to work the video verifications, then I'm going to give you guys a Google form that you guys can fill out. Sam, can you throw a link to that form in the chat for us, and then also post it into the Facebook chat there? Sam, are you with us? I see you're muted and without photo. So we have that. We've had a lot of success. I know that Caleb is going to be speaking in Rank Masters next week about how he landed like 50 clients in 60 days. And he's set up for those 60 days, he's set up 25 GMVs so far for those clients. Some of those clients are obviously new in the last month, right? Yep. Good old Caleb, one of our coaches inside of Caleb Olku. Yep. One of our coaches inside of Rank Masters. So can we have the heat map keyword suggestions come up that are historical keywords can make setting up comparisons way easier? Can we have the heat map suggestions come up that are historical keywords? I guess I get lost in that question a little bit. Alec, can you unmute?
Yeah. What I mean is, like, when I'm setting up the comparison for a customer, it creates that cool timeline if I've run the same keyword over multiple dates. And so what I'm hoping is right now do you know what I'm talking about, Patrick?
I think so.
Like, yes, for this tool here, like, all those dates come up because you've run the exact same, like, character match keyword over and over again. And so when I've set up some scheduling, but I had to open up like 6 tabs and look up what words I actually typed in and how I spelled it. Was it painter or painters? Did I do, like, did I put the state initials? Did I not put the state initials? And so I was hoping if we, like, you had a feature where it auto-filled keyword suggestions, and I was just wondering if there was a way for the same GMB to like pull up all the keywords I've already run for that GMB, so that way I can just
Got it.
check all the boxes and set up a schedule on it.
So for instance, like right here, when you're going to do the heat map, we have the list of keywords added, and maybe we have like a history tab that shows all the ones that you've run in the past, right?
Yeah. So I'm not having to come up with if I save it as a list, that would be great, but I never ever, I don't do that until I find it too annoying to remember all the keywords again. If it was historical, then it's almost like the list gets made automatically, and then I could just select the batch, hit a button, and it goes into the keyword list from then on.
Done. Yeah, that's super easy. Alec, will you do me a favor? Create that as a feature request so I can follow up with you after we have it live. That'll be really easy for
Okay.
us to do. And I think it makes a lot of sense. I think that'll make people's lives easier. So thank you for that fantastic suggestion.
Sure.
So Patrick Shane, did you say the rank masters get access to the course with Barry? Yeah, you guys, we have a training in there. We have Caleb, who's going to go on and talk more about it. We can bring Barry back to answer questions on any struggles with that. But if you guys get that process dialed in, like it's a slam dunk for verifying GMBs. So the video verification, a lot of us are scared of that, but basically, what largely Barry has come up with is like, how do we do this well, and how do we do it at scale? How do we get our clients to participate in it? Right. So this course is just included with Rank Masters. But hey, if you're not a part of Rank Masters, maybe you're just getting started in the journey and you are struggling to get your GMBs verified. This could be really helpful for you to do it. And this is in compliance with what Google wants, right? And if you video verify Google My Business, then the chances of it getting suspended are a lot less. That's what I've learned. And pretty much everyone I've talked to agrees with that. And there's an easy way to do this, guys. So, so it looks like, I think that, it says video has been a bear for me. I didn't know how to interpret that. What was that game that they used to play, that like talk show where they'd have the signs and you have to figure out what the word? I feel like I was just playing that. Okay, cool. So it looks like Sam is not gonna, Sam, there you are. Hey, do you have that link for us? The link for the form? Can you post that into the chat and also post it, or I can copy it into the description. We'll talk more about that video verification stuff. This won't be the only time. We'll, like, as we release the course, we'll push it out there. And again, like if you guys are in Rank Masters, so there it is right there, guys, in the chat. And I'm just going to copy this and post it into Facebook as well. So, all right, guys, that is our time here today. Does anybody have any? I'll tell you what. I'll take one question if it's still out there. Otherwise, we will peace on out of here. It looks like Alla has found her way into the car, so feel more comfortable with that now too. All right, so any other final questions here? It looks like we are all good. I'll be adding this link. Oh, we got Jolante. What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up, bud? Hey, I actually have a question. So I know you spoke about this a while back ago. I'm not sure if you guys have any enhancements coming, in regards to the funnels by chance, and also if you guys have any enhancements, for automations, so like what if, and then like then if this, that, and that, is that something that's actually in the play?
It's actually I've basically taken the best developer on my team and assigned him to automations. So he's rebuilding it, and then we are going to, we're going to really make the automations and the workflow stuff a big cornerstone to the future of LeadSnap. I think it is probably, depending on your use case, one of the most important modules. I think there's some other platforms that exist out there that are doing it better than we are, that have additional options for scheduling and stuff like this. So we're going to put a lot of our resources. It's a big deal for me to pull my best developer and say, hey, this is all I want you to focus on. So during Q4 of this year and potentially Q1 of next year, that is going to be his sole focus, is just the automations and just making those things rock solid. adding in a bunch of different triggers, like different possibilities. We're going to change the whole workflow builder. If you guys have used like, think, you know, those like diagramming tools like Lucid Chart or something like that, where you can like put a square here and like draw a line. So that's kind of the direction we're probably going to be going with our automations, where it's like, hey, if this is true, then like go over here and do this, and these different pathways. If somebody replies yes, then do this. If they open the email, then do this. Like, so we're going to just put a ton of resources into that module and like enhancing that a ton.
Okay, cool. And then also, I think I said the same thing in regard to the funnels. I know that you were speaking about that at one point in time, you know, a couple months back. Is that something that's actually coming in the near future or next year or whatnot?
Yeah, it is. I'm actually working with my friend Monik on a solution for that, to kind of have like a website builder inside of LeadSnap, where you can kind of build out templates. You know, we've mentioned this to you guys a little bit in Rank Masters, building out these kind of websites that you can use that are just, they look beautiful unless you mess them up. We'll give you guys inside of Rank Masters, we're going to give you guys a built website, a collection of them that are going to perform really well, right? And you just change out the text and the pictures. So we're thinking about trying to build that directly into LeadSnap as well. So talking to my buddy about how we can do that, how we can set that up and make it really, really seamless. So that is a big piece that's coming for us too, is like, I think it's a challenge when you're sending people in different directions and trying to integrate with these different things. So the website builder, the funnel thing has been on our list for a long time, but as you know, we basically worked through a backlog over the last 6 months of rebuilding different pieces of the application to try to make it run faster. You know, the stuff that we're working on now that I mentioned earlier on the call, the usability features, right? Of like, how do we make everything easier to use? So now that we're kind of phasing, you know, once we get that implemented, we're going to turn our sites towards, you know, like new features and this kind of thing again. So yeah, we are doing things in a very methodical approach, and that funnel builder, website builder, I can't wait to get that out. I can't wait to stop having to deal with, you know, complications from other people's, you know, hey, I'm using this site that it has this issue. I'm using this site, my own sites, right? We've migrated between different hosts and different things. What if I have it all inside of here and it's just like seamless for us and we can launch a new site? What if we can use AI to launch a site and have it launch within a few minutes, right? And I've got like 10 pages built out in like 10 minutes, right? How cool would that be? So we've got to stay on the cutting edge. You know, LeadSnap was born out of innovation, and now the world has changed with AI. So like, how do we combine the AI with this, give you guys kind of like the one-stop shop, have the website be built inside of here in a way that's very cost effective, right? For us, very cost effective, for you guys where it makes sense, right? I know that there was a person out there who was selling $16 a month or $14 a month website that were built on another platform. I don't want to do anything like that. I'd rather have it like, how do we make it be super cheap so it's better for you to just go here and have it be seamless. So that's the direction we're going. So it's coming.
Awesome.
Okay. All right, guys. You guys have an amazing week. Do what you got to do to create some wins. Appreciate you guys. I will throw the link into Facebook, and I will talk with you guys soon. Adios.